get the man of the moment on the show. Welcome, Tommy Fury. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. Just about to pull in and feed myself full of pancake. A nice spot of mine with the daughter and the missus. So yeah, I'm all good, loving life.
No doubt. Now, Carl, I'm going to put you on the spot here because a lot of fighters and ex-fighters thought Jake would do it. So listen, you're not alone. But now I've stuck you right in the screen with the big man. I want to get your point.
Yeah, what can I say? Tommy proved me and a lot of other people wrong. I thought he looked good in the fight. He won it comfortably, and yeah, it was a good performance. When I got as the fight got closer, I actually started to change my mind a bit, and a lot of it was down to the confidence of Tommy, and it seemed the lack of it from Jake Paul. But I didn't want to openly say, actually, I might be changing my mind here towards Tommy, because then everyone goes, "Oh, you're just afraid of John Fury," which I am, by the way. But yeah, I thought it was a great performance. Well done, mate.
I appreciate it. But I'll tell you what's funny. It's like all these former world champions. They clearly don't know all about boxing because they can't even call two novices. They can't even pick between two novices. You know, I told everybody. You know, that Tony Bellews as well. All the people that told me and said that I couldn't beat this man. Well, they've just got egg all over the faces because at the end of the day, me and my dad said it, you know, for all the build up, and it was an easy fight. I clearly outwon him. It shouldn't have been a split decision. It should have been a unanimous. But like I said, listen, egg on everybody's faces that said I couldn't do it. So yeah, it feels very, very nice to sit here and prove everybody wrong because I was the guy who was going to crack under pressure. I was the guy that had never been in the main event before. I was the guy that was going to get knocked out off a YouTuber. But no, they've all got egg on their faces, so I can say that confidently.
Well, listen, fair play to you. And again, I thought it was a good performance. I never didn't think it was going to be a blowout for either man. And like I said, it was two novice professionals going at it, and fair play to you, but there was just signs there that you're kind of a bit more pedigree, your job was better, you landed a nice uppercut at times as well, and it was just.
Well, this is the thing.
Yeah,
I don't understand why nobody clicked onto this at the start. Like, you know, all these people are meant to be in the job all the life, and you know, seasoned vets and watch millions of fights. How can you not look at Jake Paul and look at me and think, oh, hold on a minute, one man knows what he's doing, one man's been around all his life, and you can see that, and then another man's beat a load of old men and MMA people. Like I'm only 23 years old, and I've had no experience in boxing really, but I can call fights. Like I can say how it's going to go just off looking at somebody. And honestly, in the build up to this, it was funny because me and my dad and the whole team was sat there laughing, thinking, what are these guys seeing that we ain't seeing? You know, and I went in there and it was a complete shutout. Jake couldn't even deal with a jab, you know, and let it be what it was. You know, that there was more high profile than any world title fight. You know, so it just showed at 23 years old, I've gone in there and I can handle the pressure, don't crack under pressure, and that's it. And in the rematch, you'll be getting knocked out, because I've been in there now, done the 8 rounds, and that's it. Well, I'm just happy that I proved everybody wrong. That's the main thing for me.
I think you have proved everyone wrong, but up until we know the Fury fight name, and you've got, you know, you're from a family of fighters, but up until the Jake Paul victory, there were still question marks because we didn't know what you could do, because the level of opposition wasn't amazing, which is what happens as novice professionals. I fought guys similar to your level of opposition coming up myself, but that's what happens. But we just didn't know. There was so much pressure on you. I didn't know how it was going to work out. But clearly you handled it, and you know, fair play to you. I hold my hands up. I got it wrong, and you done very well.
Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully on the rematch, everybody will be thinking with some sense.
Tommy, this was the moment that you were waiting for. There was a lot of emotion pouring out when the referee raised your hand, right? Was there any nerves when you heard it was a split decision?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when when it's a split decision, it's a big fight like that. You know, people want to see it again. So, you know, I was at fear of it being a draw. I was at fear of it going against me. But I knew I'd won every single round. And when you beat somebody convincingly like that, because I've watched the fight back, watched the highlights back just literally a few hours ago, and the guy couldn't deal with the jab. The jab was killing him. But the emotion that you seen coming out of me after the fight, it wasn't for beating Jake Paul. That wasn't, I know I celebrated like I won a world title, but the celebration had nothing to do with the opponent. It was all to do with what I'd overcome for the past 3 years. Walking down the street, getting laughed at because I meant to be a professional boxer, and I was running scared of Jake Paul, and I backed out of 2 fights, and all this sort of stuff, and I can stay in Saudi Arabia for losing, and I've got to defend my last name, can't do Tyson wrong. All this pressure that was on my shoulders that everyone had put on me, basically it didn't matter, and that's what it was. And it was a big accomplishment to myself, because there's not a lot of people at 23 that can go out there and in an event like that, watched all over the world. You had greats at ringside, you had Ronaldo sitting up at the top. Like, there's not many people that can go out there and cope with that pressure. And the fact that I can do that, and having a baby 3 weeks earlier, all this going on in my life, and still go out there and put on a performance and get the win, that was the most special thing to me, because everything that I went through over the past 3 years, it had paid off on Sunday night. Now I walk down the street, it's good job, mate, well done. I put that chapter behind me. So it's that was a relief, for me, and it meant a lot, as you can see.
I think, Tommy, that there was some criticism thrown your way about how you reacted after the fight, but I think it was it was uncalled for, the criticism, because not only the fact that people like myself and other pundits had been tipping Jake Paul to win, but you've just had a new baby. The first weeks of her life, you're away from home. Your girlfriend, Molly, is at home looking after the baby. I can understand that emotion. Like, as a father who was a boxer, who was often away from his family, that's one of the hardest things to do, mate.
This is it. And it's like that. That was all the emotion coming out of there, because going into that fight, I'd not even spent a night with my daughter, and she'd been born. Like, I was there. I was stuck in a little old apartment by myself, doing nothing, twiddling my thumbs in training camp, as we do. And it did eat away at me. There was some days where I was feeling sorry for myself and saying, "Oh, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing?" And then on Sunday night, getting my hand raised like that, it all just showed that I did do the right thing. And like I said, Tyson's the man in our family. He always will be. But Sunday night was my glimpse at glory, and like my time at the top, because even though it wasn't a world title fight, like I've said before, it had the magnitude of a world title fight, and it had as much pressure on it as a world title fight. So, that was my time, and it's still going to be my time, because in the rematch, I'll definitely get him out of there, and it's going to be all big nights. At the end of the day, I'm going to get these YouTubers out of a job, and then I'm going to see how far I can take it in boxing. Going back to what I always said. I said that I'll clear up these YouTubers, not a problem, because they're easy. And then boxing, I want to see how far I can take it. I know I've got what it takes inside of me to win a world title. Half of that's already done. I've seen Tom Aspinall come out and said, he can win a world title if he wants. I'm 23 years old. I've shown I can cope with the pressure, which a lot of people can't do, and that's half the job, as any fighter will know. And I believe I've got the skill and the talent to do so. All I need is a bit of polishing. And at 23, I think I've got a lot of time to do so. So I'm still on track. I'm still on track to achieve my goals in boxing. And when I do that, then that'll be it, won't it?
Who's doing the night feeds now, Tommy? As you said, you're away from home a lot. Are you taking over now?
So basically, what was we up? We was up at 2 o'clock last night. We was up at 4:30, and about 7:45 this morning. I was up for every single one of them. But again, it was thoroughly enjoyable. I know I regret saying that in about 2 or 3 weeks, but it was enjoyable because I've not done it, and being there and just being around all of it and being a dad. That's the main thing for me. Because like I said, these are the first few nights I've spent with her, and she's been born 5 weeks now. So I'm enjoying every single minute of it. I'm enjoying wiping the sick up. I'm enjoying changing the dirty nappies, whatever you want. Keep it coming.
Listen, Tommy, I spent a lot of time with you in Saudi over the last week. You've dealing with the pressure, coming back, becoming a dad. Did you leave Saudi a different person to the one that arrived the week before the fight?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, especially since the baby coming along, I've really became a man. I've got my own family now to take care of. I feel like I've carried the weight on my shoulders. Like, I don't know, I feel like I've grown up a little bit, in such a small sense, like, after other fights, I've gone out drinking, whatnot, and all I wanted to do straight off the bat after this fight was go home to my family and just be at home. So I feel like I've got that bit of maturity in me now, and it feels amazing because, after you have children, you realise what's important in life, and thank God, we got the victory on Sunday, but even not, I'm winning at life anyway because I've got gifted a lovely baby girl, and not many people, well, some people can't have children out there, so I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I am. I'm in. So at the end of the day, regardless of the boxing, I'm winning because I've got the gift of her being here.
How was it walking back into the dressing room and seeing all of your team, family members? We're going to play a little video of that, and I want you to talk me through it.
That's why we're in boxing, for memories like that. I'm just so fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. In my 9th fight, that I can have memories like that. Again, it all feels like a dream. I've not really woke up yet. I'm still on cloud 9. The support's been absolutely amazing. Just walking through the streets is absolutely incredible. The support of everybody, thank you to everyone who tuned in, and thank you to everyone who's supporting me. It's without the fans, boxing's it's a lonely sport anyway, but without the fans, we'd be out of a job, wouldn't we? So thank you to everybody that tuned in.
Tommy, before you go, I know you're a busy man. Sorry, can I ask you one question? I think that we all know that you've got dreams and aspirations of moving on and becoming British, European, and a world champion one day and following Tyson's footsteps. But if you can, like in your last fight against Jake Paul, you've probably earned more money than 99% of boxers will their whole career. So what's the difference? Like, how do you stop fighting these guys? Like, I'm sure there's a fight with KSI's potential and all these other types. Jake Paul rematch, earning mega money, but to go back down that route of British, European, the money isn't as great.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a difficult thing to weigh up and look at?
You know what? It's definitely something that's crossed my mind, but it always leads me back to that same image of why I got into boxing. Now, especially after what happened on Sunday, I'm not in boxing for money anymore because, I don't live the most extravagant lifestyle. I don't live on yachts. I don't buy, all these fancy things. I'm not really interested. I've got a car. I've got a place to put my head down at night, and I've got a family, and that does me. So I'm not in boxing for money at the minute. Like the money now is not. It's not really important. I'm in boxing for my name to go down in history, and that's still the same goal. And it just shows that after all these mega fights and all this money that I can earn, I'll be in boxing because I enjoy it and it's a passion of mine. And I'll always revert back to being that old man and saying, did I really give it my best shot? Because I know if I give it my best shot, my name can go down in history. I can achieve winning one world title belt because there's a lot worse men than me done it. And I've got the drive and the determination to get me there. Even after all these big fights, I'm still in the gym. I've still been training after Sunday, and even so, the hunger's there. I'm still eager to learn. I'm still eager to win titles, and go down as a proper boxer. I don't want to be remembered as these guys who, made a lot of money fighting idiots and then retired and left the sport. I want to be remembered as Tommy Fury. He made great money fighting these YouTubers who were big events, and he also stuck to his boxing. He retired, and he had a world title behind him. That'll be happiness for me, and I will achieve it.
Well, Tommy, listen, enjoy those pancakes, enjoy the sweet spoils of victory, brother. Always good to see you, and hopefully see you in another big event very soon.
Top man, cheers, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Right, guys, that's it for part 1. After the break, we'll be joined by Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren.